Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Game Dev Tycoon. And I am currently Paint, the African Wild Dog. And thanks to some helpful advice from GibGab, I have finally managed to actually make it somewhere with this game.
Yay!
Which is very surprising if you know GibGab. Oh, are they? Let me take care of that real quick. There you go, fixed it. What are you two laughing at? Oh, Geeman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's really surprising. Normally you do not accept GibGab's advice. But I did this one time, and here we go. I've managed to upgrade my office. I got lots of money to throw around, you know. It's shocking.
Game devs hate this one unique trick.
Game devs hate this one unique trick. Just make money and win in a while.
But yeah, when you get to the second stage of this game, you want to apparently be actually taking those publisher deals until you get more fans, and then you publish for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then you just release one game and you make like $200 million and you sit there for the rest of the game doing nothing because you're questioning what do I even do at this point. And then you win.
You sell to Microsoft. That's what you do when you hit that point. That's what Notch did.
Oh well, he sucks. So, tap.
Alright, let's do a bit of training, and then we're gonna go jump into another game.
There we go.
It's super weird. Like, I'm so used to not training in general. Almost always just like hire new employees because training takes so much research points.
That's how a lot of the call centers I've worked at work.
Yeah. And I mean, that is fair, but on the flip side there, you also got to consider that when you hire a new employee, they take time to actually get settled in.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of that, you know, that back and forth there.
By the time you're hiring like more high level employees, like there's a certain point to which when you hire them they don't really get better once you like invest enough money, because like usually at the start you're hiring like level 1 and 2, and I think you can get up to like level 5 when hiring just immediately, and they have incredible stats, and it would take you so much research point and so much money to train them to that point. So like once you get to that like the best you can hire, then I just like fire everyone, hire a bunch of the ones I can get that are the best, make a couple of like black games, and then at that point, you know, then we really start get going. But that's just because like Game Dev Tycoon still takes the weird approach of you don't learn by doing. Your employees could have made 200 games and they're not going to be any better at it, which is like weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, I still need to find that mod for them to actually, you know, get better with making games.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's just like one of the borderline default mods the game offers you when you first boot it up. When you first try to mod it.
I mean, we could just throw some shade and name a couple of actual game development companies that do that, but how you get Pinkertons.
Oh no.
What's up?
That. What Lightpaw just said.
Oh.
I mean, I did say I'm not gonna name any companies that do that.
You're only gonna imply them.
We all know who they are.
The heck?
Wow.
Apparently somebody stole my credit card. I will
What's the
find
small
them
training?
and I will unalive them. What was
So
that?
apparently, stealing the game dev's credit cards is also how you get Pinkertons.
Yes. Oh, it was Gib Gab? Ah, I see, I see.
That makes too much sense.
Also, I love how we were talking about quote 100 and you bring up a random quote demon and it's about quote 100. That bot, it is truly sentient.
But is it sapient?
I'll be honest, I cannot figure out what the difference is. Holy crap, Lucas Barber with that 888 design.
Ooh.
Very creative. Watch out, that's how you get a Yoko Taro.
Well, I'm going to have some very design-heavy games here in the future, but, sure. Oh, hey. Got an achievement for having the max number of employees.
Nice. Wait, does that mean you can't expand your studio again?
Oh, no, I can expand it more later. It's just
Okay.
max right now.
Got it.
Wait, so is Giman trying to kill Raharu? I'm missing the T here.
Hey there, Raharu.
Let's go.
Hello, Wing Zero.
Come on. Why do I miss on stupid easy misses?
A new subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
Serio Khan just resubscribed for 40 months. Razim Peak.
Hey, Sirio! Thank you so much for that resub and your 40 months of support. My entire studio needed to go on vacation. All at
Aw.
once. This is
That's good,
awful.
That's actually good in my opinion, because if you remember what time they go on vacation, then you just avoid planning a game around that time. Like when they return, then you start a new game.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to look at it. I mean, the whole studio going on vacation at once also means that, you're not waiting on that one guy that's on vacation for updates to the project, because the project's not continuing anyway. Of course, this is all real life. I don't know how deep the sim goes.
I don't know. I feel like you could go pretty deep into that. I mean, what?
Really? Because I've gotten the impression that the Sims that... wait, we're not 15 minutes in yet. Oh, hey, look! G3 code! Do indie developers actually take booths at game conventions anymore?
Well, nowadays, I don't think so, but
Like, I know there was a really good run there where they did, like, early 2000s to 2015 or so. It was kind of the time to have a booth at a game com.
Also, Zim, really quick to answer the question earlier. Sentience means you can feel or perceive, basically. Sapient is like an intelligent being. So that really depends on how you measure things. But basically, if you were to talk about sapiens, I would imagine like humans are sapient. Except for the ones that think that complaining in Reddit is actual like intellectual activity. They're only sentient, they're not really sapient.
I see, I see.
You could probably talk about like certain organisms that are capable of perceiving the world and to some extent feeling things, but not really capable of higher orders of magnitude of thinking. You could consider them sentient, but not sapient.
So, like, Pomeranians are sentient, but crows are sapient.
Yeah, so that would kind of be the difference. But it becomes really, really murky when you try to think about that, because you could argue, for example, dogs in general are sapient. But then it really depends on how you get into what you consider the like intelligence. Do you need self-awareness for sapiens? Because that would like exclude a lot of animals that we could otherwise include. And whether you would talk about sapiens in terms of how animals think versus how humans tend to think in terms of the type of intelligence we use. So it's not really a clear difference. You're right to think it's a little like confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the most basic way you can put it is if it feels it's sapient, if it feels it's sentient, if it thinks it's sapient.
Come on.
I remember reading a while ago that when we were testing dolphins and octopi for sapiens rather than sentients, they realized that they were being tested and threw the tests because they didn't want to bother with us.
Oh my god, that's funny. That's actually funny.
Oh yes, I've actually seen those. It is quite hilarious.
Also, there we go. I brought my microphone closer, and I don't know if I'm less quiet now.
I think you need to turn up the gain a bit.
It's basically already about as high as it can get.
That's weird.
It is being a little quiet. It's kind of weird. I'm like listening to it myself, and I'm weirded out by it.
Yeah.
Oh, Windows updated. Give me a moment.
It's sad that that phrase basically explains why anything in your computer isn't working. I think it should.
Joke.
Why is this doing anything? It's not supposed. Oh, Windows updated.
Сходи потрогай, потом вкусняшку получишь.
I've had my volume controller has been kind of broken lately because of a Windows update.
Woo! All the people coming to my booth! To the
Yay.
moon!
I thought you don't want that to happen, Master.
What do you mean?
Red coin.
What about Rencoin? Do you want some Rencoin? We
No,
got
I
lots
do
of
not.
Rencoin.
No.
Basically worthless because, well, it's crypto, but you know.
No, I don't want any red coin.
Hey now, Crypto's a good boy.
I think it broke me a bit.
Well, for a simulation game, definitely more on the gameplay.
Oh my god. Can I stop missing, please?
They misspelled my company name?
They did?
What the bullshit?
That's hilarious. Oh, come on.
They didn't misspell your name. They just creatively spelled it. Very creatively.
Ooh, okay.
No, we aren't in the Middle Ages. We've invented spelling.
I disagree. Also, you're stinky. Rap.
Oh!
I'm not. But I just shower.
Yes, but you're a
Oh.
ferret.
No, you stink of clean. How about that?
How would that work?
Okay, I
Well-
guess.
I grab someone and then like I smell them and they smell clean.
Also, I see you turned yourself up somehow.
Yes.
Yes. Basically Windows updated and it reset the volume of the mic to like way too low. By way too low, I mean it went from like 95 to 80, so I set it back up to 95, and then I just quickly ran a driver check on it and then installed the driver.
Yeah, you sound a lot better now.
Yeah, the only problem is the mic sensitive, so I'm waiting for the noise suppression to adjust. I was like playing with the noise suppression before to make sure it wouldn't like pick up everything. Because when I raise the volume a lot, the noise suppression goes, wait, what? So you know. What? Turn it down just slightly. Slightly too sensitive. I love Windows. I love Windows so much.
You love it so much that you want to marry it?
No, God, I'd rather commit alone for the rest of my life than marry Windows.
Blink 3 times if if Bill Gates has a gun on you.
No, he doesn't have a gun on me. He just like has a gun on my mental health and sanity for the rest of my life, considering I'll be working in computers.
Alright, on this stage, even though some of these lean a little bit more towards the design side, I know I want more tech for this simulation game. So we're gonna do a lot of tech stuff here. So you take care of sound. You can do that.
Slight comment that I'm just like being very salty about. One of my friends lives in Australia and he took about like 10 minutes to do his taxes, and I've been sitting here the entire afternoon. And when I got to the end, I realized that I'm gonna have to ask my workplace for another W2 because they put the wrong what do you call it? They put the wrong zip code on it.
Oh no.
And I'm just sitting here. I've been spending the entire afternoon, and it sucked even more because I woke up and I was trying to use one of the like new tools that the IRS had, and it's super simple for me. And it didn't let me at the very last step because of the health insurance thing.
Oh my
So I
god.
have to like actually do them more manually than with a nice automated tool they have. And one of my friends just asks, like, I put on my Discord status earlier, like, do not disturb taxes. And one of my friends, messaged me after, and he's like, oh, cool, I already did it. It took me like 10 minutes. Most of the time was just remembering the password I used to log in, and I'm just sitting there like,
Hey, it could be you could come try doing my taxes.
Look, if I ever become an accountant, I'll take it, but I don't plan to become an accountant. I know one of my family members wants to be an accountant, so maybe once in 3 or 4 years they graduate, I'll throw them your way.
Oh my god, my taxes are so...
No joke. I
Unbelievable.
actually did ask a friend of mine if they were accepting clients at one point for you, and unfortunately, they were a two-man operation. So no, they were not.
It takes me probably about 20 hours each year to do all of my taxes. Maybe
No, I know.
more.
I helped you last year. Remember?
Did
It's
you?
the same. Yeah, that was the same friend that I asked which forms you needed and got you the links to them.
Oh, the 1099s, yeah.
Yeah, it was that friend. I was asking that year if he was accepting new clients, and he said, unfortunately, no. We're pretty booked out.
Я тебе огурец, а ты мне я... Брат, ну вот.
See, I'm a firm believer now that if we want to keep the complicated tax code, we should do like with like public defendants. Like, oh, it's tax season. Yeah, you get assigned a tax advisor. Here you go. They now are supposed to help you do your taxes for free.
Yeah,
I
well,
agree.
that's would
I-
be nice, but we're not getting that.
I
for
know my
reasons.
therapist said that she used to have this group that did them for free. She's trying to find them again, but they those kinds of things do exist. Just hard to find.
Okay, we're more than 15 in at this
Yes.
point, right? Xeno, they don't do it that way because the United States has a lot of lobbyists from H&R Block and TurboTax who are basically preventing Congress from settling on anything that is actually simple enough for the average citizen to understand because it drives their profit margins.
Of
They're
course.
technically supposed to have a free version available, but they're allowed to be very, very loosely interpretive about what available means.
They specifically, like, yes, they have free options, but they very specifically bury those.
Yep.
They exist. You just have to work really fucking hard to find them.
Like, you can even tell like what case says is true because yeah, Xenoplex. So here's the problem: the IRS almost always knows what you owe them. Like, there are certain like people who do actually like probably would need to file taxes even in a normal system because their taxes would be complicated. Or you can get into like certain cases where it might take the IRS a fair while to verify them, and then like halfway later down the year they'll slap you with a huge invoice and be like, you filed it wrong, pay us this money. And that would be unfortunate, right? So there is a certain legitimacy to like sometimes taxes can be complicated. But for the average person, and even for most people who aren't extremely complicated, it would be very easy to draft up tax legislation and automated systems to automate so much. They literally introduced a direct file tax system for like 25 different states. And basically what you do is you go in there, it asks you a bunch of questions. You don't need to like file the form even. It just asks you questions in a really nice interface with clarifying like links to everything. Like,
Hold
hey,
on.
are you a resident?
Hold on. One sec. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording because I don't want to bring this up on, have this on YouTube, but I've got a video that'll explain this very well. Adam Ruins Everything. Go check it out. Alright, and we're back. So yeah, that kind of, hopefully explains everything there.
In the interest of complete fairness, there was a time when the government doing the filing for you didn't make sense, but that was when those filings were done manually by an actual accountant checking your work. We haven't had that be. Yeah, that was the 70s.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the case since the current senators were born, I think, much less in office.
Yeah, they're like, sure, when the country first started out, no, they could not do that. But especially here and now, or even as early as the 90s, or heck, the 70s, like you said, they could have absolutely been doing all this. But like, Adam Ruins Everything, I love it. He even puts his sources for everything there. Fantastic series. You guys should check it out. But yeah, they lobbied and made deals so taxes are as confusing as possible. And they specifically lobby to introduce new tax regulations every year to make sure that even if you figure it out for 1 year, you got to do a whole bunch of research to figure out what the hell's different the next year. Mm-hmm. Just to keep you stuck with them.
I was trying to change. I took the tax filing we had last year because we had someone help us with it, and I'm literally looking at the form, and already there's like 3 different things from it, and I'm just like.
Yep. Unfortunately, yeah, even with the free filing system, there would be people who would kind of slip through the cracks because they've got income that isn't being reported normally, like influencers or people who have won significant winnings through gambling would still need to independently file their taxes because those aren't directly reported to the IRS.
Well, no, because the gambling is.
Not if it's done. Not if it's done out of the country. Like if they go to Hong Kong and win a bunch of
that's
money.
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the stuff done here in the US is automatically reported anyways. Like, you think those casinos are here in the US are just going to be like, oh, well, yeah, we lost all this money, but we're going to report that we've got this money anyways. No, they're absolutely going to say, oh yeah, this particular person came in, won all this money, and so we want a tax write-off for it. They are going to throw you under the bus, so the IRS is absolutely going to know that you won that money.
Like, it gets even funnier to me because, like, there are so many people who complain about, like, that, or they try to justify that, like, obviously the IRS can't keep track of all of this or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, you think the IRS doesn't know? Because I think the stat is like half of Americans could have their taxes automated tomorrow with 0 changes needed. Just like snap fingers, bam, done, easy money.
Oh no, it's way more than half. It's probably a good 75-95% of
But
it is.
either way.
So that, yeah, mind you, that's with like no change at all to the tax code. Like you make some minor changes and bam, even easier. But yeah, the thing I was gonna find funny is most undocumented immigrants pay taxes anyway, and the IRS just does not care. It gets to the point where it's like, yeah, everyone pays taxes. The IRS doesn't care. The IRS knows. The IRS has eyes everywhere. But we still can't keep track of the people who have too much money. Their money's hard to keep track of.
I mean, freaking hell. Everybody, well, okay, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people know the only reason Al Capone went down was because the IRS found out his, they were the only ones that were able to nail him with anything, and that was, not actually paying taxes. One of the biggest criminals in history. The police could not get him with anything, and yet the IRS took him down. Like, seriously.
I mean, they nailed him after they took him down through the tax situation, but they couldn't do it until then because he was just too squirrely.
Oi! Don't say Squirrely. Squirrely's a good guy.
No,
Ooh,
Squirrely's
yes,
good.
we gotta add mod
Squirrely's-
support.
You know what's something slightly even funnier about the whole story about Al Capone? Something people don't mention and that I found hilarious was reading that when he was convicted of tax evasion, he took his defense team, like his criminal defense team, and he replaced them with legal experts in taxes.
Does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot going on about it that made it so that it was really hard to take him down, Toshime, but once he actually was in prison and wasn't able to as easily issue updates and orders, they were able to get ahead of his enterprises and finally kind of get him on some stuff that he actually did. Part of it was that he was actually really, really popular in the Chicago suburbs that he was operating in because he was really good about making sure that they liked him in those suburbs. He gave back money. He made sure that he was hiring people from the neighborhoods he came from. It was really kind of crazy.
I mean, you gotta get your devotions from somewhere.
I mean, it like literally just provides cover and free labor because like none of this like I know directly, but basically like I read a lot about, or I had like older people tell me stories about how like in Colombia back in like decades ago, when a lot of like drug lords were starting out, a lot of criminals were starting out, they would be very like mean and ruthless. And as time went on, they were like, why are we being mean to these?
Gib?
Oh no, the cartel's got him.
Oh no! Really? Oh well. Got a good score out of that. And hey, up out.
Here, I'm naming my next engine Tax Engine 5.
But Zim, if you name it Tax Engine, then everyone is going to have it.
No, because I'm lobbying to make sure that I'm the only one that has it. That's how it works.
Although I guess everyone having it isn't that much different than Unity.
Invest over 1 million in a new game engine. Yo!
Like, no joke, that move actually did make a lot of companies a lot of money. I think
the puppy just wanted attention, so now I have.
I think Capcom is one of the big ones that developed their own engine in-house a couple of times, and it paid massive dividends for them.
Yeah, because I mean it's good. Like having game engine is not just like, oh, I made Unity, but the most important thing of the game engine is being able to customize it to your needs. Like Rockstar's engine is customized to the fact that they make basically GTA in different settings and time periods, but it's always GTA. So like once you have an engine that perfectly supports exactly what you're trying to do, it's good. Because game engine is not like, oh, I'm just gonna make NPCs be supported by the engine. Like how are you gonna do it? What kind of performance constraints will it entail? There's a lot that goes into like a game engine other than just like it'll let me do something or it'll just save me money because I don't have to pay Unity.
And sometimes even the bugs in your game engines can be turned into a feature, like when they were developing Onimusha 2 and got that weird bug where sometimes your hit, the hit from the katana would knock an enemy into the air, preventing them from executing their AI script. And somebody else was in the room and was like, hey, I know you need to fix that bug, but how does it work? And that's how you get Devil May Cry. I've been watching a lot of retrospectives on YouTube that go into like the game development side of things. Capcom's history is insane.
She's falling asleep on my hands at a really awkward angle because I'm like holding her up because she's like too long for to lay on my lap when I'm sitting down. So she's being weird about it and keeps trying to climb up into the desk, and I want to let her. So she just claimed my right arm as her own. But yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, the history of like older game companies is fascinating. Like, especially back when they didn't really operate like they do now, and you get some of the funny stories of more like corporate software companies meeting like game development for the first time, basically.
Or the I think the running joke that I think it was Shinji Mikami from Capcom said that he had zero experience with game development, and zero desire to get into the game development industry. He only joined Capcom for the free food.
Oh my god!
It doesn't surprise me.
And Resident Evil and Silent Hill and Dino Crisis later.
And then you got companies like Blizzard that doesn't pay their employees enough for them to even eat at the company cafeteria. Ugh.
Oh, look, Sam, you have to be nice to Blizzard, okay? The executives have to afford their yachts somehow.
No, I don't.
People you have to respect at Blizzard left Blizzard a long time ago.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
I mean, it's...
I will say some of the incoming leadership are kind of promising.
Contrólate. ¿Qué quiere? Ok, te suelto, pero ¿qué vas a hacer? ¿A dónde vas?
Anyway, some of the incoming leadership are promising at least, but we still need to get out from under some of the, let's say, old guard.
You won't be leaving those stations for a long time.
Yeah.
They know they're in the top. They know nobody will replace them, and can't replace them. So.
Oh, they can be replaced now. Thankfully, now that Microsoft's board of directors is in charge of them instead of Activision's.
Okay, the puppy decided to sit in front of the door. And yeah, I mean, Microsoft could do things.
What's up?
The problem really just comes down to the fact that, like, okay, you're Microsoft. You're gonna look at the numbers. You'll look at someone like Bobby Kotick. He took over a failing company and made it the world's largest game studio. Are you really gonna fire it? You could, but the numbers speak.
Was Blizzard actually failing?
They weren't thriving the way they could have been before Bobby Kotick took over.
Yeah, they were struggling pretty hard.
That is always the thing that has confused me the most, is this whole idea that Blizzard was failing, apparently, and yet it still doesn't seem like they were back then. Well, what do I know?
My understanding of the situation is that they were still profitable, but they were not growing.
Ah.
It's also both. He wasn't the CEO of Blizzard when it was failing. He was the CEO of Activision. Which, like, because you're right, he took over Activision, and then that company became huge, and then they merged with Activision Blizzard, and so, like, he took Activision, which was not doing very hot at all, turned them into like a powerhouse of game publishing. And then he took Blizzard, which was doing alright, but not really like Light Pulse is not really doing great. Doing alright. And then he merged them with Activision Blizzard, and then Blizzard started like apparating money out of midair with DLC and in-game
What?
purchases. Yeah, you sell why make more games when you can just do another Warcraft expansion.
No, not that. I'm sorry. Like, Varus told me to look at Steam. I'm looking at Steam, and I got a gift
What
from
did you get?
Captain. Armored Core 6 Fires Webikin.
Nice.
You want to talk about a company that's really doing some weird stuff? That's a good one, Square Enix. Like, they're either hitting or missing, and they are never anywhere in between.
Thank you! Thank you! Oh my god, thank you!
Kind of hoping they remember they hold the IP for
Ooh,
Legacy of
reviews
Kain
are
at
not
some
doing
point
well
soon.
on this.
Okay, thank you!
Yeah, those are not good reviews. Anything less than a 9 in the games industry is just basically a 0,
You scored
which
an 80
sucks, but
You scored an 85 out of 100 on Metacritic. You get your bonus. 84 out of 100, no bonus.
Is that
I
from
would-
Blizzard?
No, Bethesda told Obsidian, who made basically Bethesda made Fallout 3, and everyone was like, yeah, this is a cool 3D RPG, but like, what if it had good writing and good story? So they gave it to Obsidian, and Obsidian proceeded to make Fallout New Vegas, which is still one of the best 3D action RPG games ever. And it scored like 84 out of 100 on reviews instead of 85 out of 100, so they didn't get their bonus.
Yeah, and there was a
Wow.
whole lot of other shit that was going down there.
Yep, Bethesda's awful.
Well, I'm downloading Armored Core right now.
Yeah, Zim, you should make Ren play Phasmophobia.
Ooh, we could do that tonight.
I can download it in advance.
I still can't believe it. Oh my god.
What? Do you have the game, Ren?
No, I do not.
Oh, I mean, I can.
You don't have
I can go ahead
Phasmo?
and get a gear.
Nope. I don't play horror games.
Well, then I guess we need that fixed before we can do that tonight, guys.
Wait, no, wait. No. Wait, no.
This is a
Yes.
gift.
No.
is that the new stream goal for the now?
Actually, speaking of the tip goal, I'm in a rough spot, guys. I never like to promote my own stuff, but it's so much easier to be like, hey, Conrad needs help, Whiskers needs help. But now I need help, so, yeah. I want to at least give you guys something back for your support. So I did set up another Wild Traditions goal there. Definitely need more than that to break even with rent and such, but you know, I couldn't think of anything else, so there you go. I don't like pushing that, but I just am in a spot that I need to.
I
Give
respect.
Gib Gab, why? I thought you loved me, Gib Gab. I thought you loved me.
Have I ever said that?
I thought you liked me.
I don't know. Have I ever said it?
Gib Gab, why? Why?
Zim, honestly, I respect your ability as a streamer to make like such honestly nice tip goals. I feel like if I was in your spot, I'd just be like, give me $100 or I'll kill Norton.
Look at the monkey! Look at the little monkey!
A resplendent
It does
offering.
not make sense!
Carcerus tipped $50. Save the precious one.
Key, Ido, thank you both so much for those tips. Thank you guys.
We're saving Ren with this one.
Truly, this is the dankest dungeon.
Ido Things tipped $5. Not much, but I hope it helps Razim coins.
You guys don't understand how much your support adds up. I mean, hell, if the 40 of you watching right now gave $5 each, jeez.
Together, monkey strong.
I think I've mentioned my situation before.
Yeah, never do it if it never hurt yourselves to help. Don't ever do that. I'm just saying, even if you do only give a little, you know, give $5, it adds up. That's the thing. That's what you got to
I mean, yeah,
remember.
AGDQ did, like, there were a couple of really big donations for Games Done Quick, but they still managed to get almost, what, $4 million this year, mostly off of $5 and $10 donation hype trains.
A generous bestowal.
Ren_L59 tipped $15. Save the guilty.
Thank you for the tip, Ren. Thank you guys so much for the help.
Come on, people. If 6 people just donate $5, that'll be $100. Just 6 more people.
Oh, Azure.
Or, never mind.
Azure Dragonblade 7 tipped $50. Save the guilty.
Thank you so very much, everybody. You guys are incredible. I appreciate you guys so much.
Oh, no pressure, just curious on this one, but I think you mentioned a while back, Liar Game, when I got you that for a while ago when I had a little bit of free money. You said that you were looking into streaming that but couldn't at the time because you didn't have this set up. How's that coming along? Or is that still on hold until artists get into better positions?
Totally did not forget about that.
No, of course.
Sorry.
Gleaming endowment.
No, you're fine. Your life's been as complicated as ours has been.
$30.01.
Yes!
Also took
Yes!
one for Ren.
Thank you, Demon!
Demon, thank you so much for that. I mean, I guess if it gets to 200%, I could apply it to the other guilty one as well. There are 2.
But yes, how many people are now kind of angry at the pointer one?
Actually, I know what I'll do instead. I'm gonna research a little more. Sure, we'll add achievements. We'll add save to cloud.
Gosh, achievements and trophies made gaming so much different.
Oh, it really did.
Like it became so much easier for game developers to make games that had staying power just by adding certain achievements, and setting up achievements for things that people were doing anyway. Like the challenge run achievements for Ratchet and Clank for that led into the Platinum Bolt challenges in the later games. Much of that was stuff that they were doing anyway in the early games, but yeah.
Come on. I know I can do better than this. I know I can do better than this.
I was gonna ask about some. I've forgotten what. Darned ADD.
I really wish there was a send all on vacation button.
But if you send them all on vacation, then how are you going to have crunch time later?
Well,
That's a
that's
joke.
why I send them on vacation afterwards, so that way they're ready for it. Hey, Merle.
Hi, Murrow.
That's a joke. Game developers, please don't encourage crunch time.
I really hate that term, crunch time. I really do.
He also major sprint.
There. The next engine is named Save the Guilty 6. Mostly because I like to have them numbered, but, you know. Oh, multi-platform optimization is $2 million by itself. Lovely.
Ooh.
See, the difference, Tiberian, is that, you know, game developers might actually listen if you tell them not to do that.
Oh no, not again!
You really
Barris!
think they will?
What now?
Social pressure at least matters to game developers because reputation is still kind of important in the games industry. You know, fair. I don't know what industry you work in.
So did somebody send you, Phasmo there, Ren?
There's a reason why I said Gib Gab. Why? I thought you were my friend.
Okay, great. Make sure you've got that downloaded.
And updated. Mods, that was the other thing that really... It's a really cheap way to improve the longevity of your game.
Oh yeah, that's why I researched mods right away. Mod support. Mwah.
Thank you, Barris, for Fly Night. Thank you. What's going on today? What just happened?
From
People
the
love
sounds of
seeing you
it,
suffer.
you just got a bunch of, Oh, this is interesting.
What is actually happening?
GibCab, what is this?
I think Gib Gab's away right now.
Probably.
What's what? Sorry.
The specialization thing.
Oh, that allows your developers to become specialized in design, technology, yada yada. I think it gives them extra options, maybe some bonuses. And if you delve into specializations in the newest office, I don't know if you have the last office. It'll let you create like dedicated hardware and research and development like areas where you can like get into researching like custom consoles, MMOs, that kind of stuff, or custom conventions.
Gosh, MMO development
Okay,
is
then.
such a massive beast.
Yeah, but an MMO here is literally just infinite money forever once you get it good enough.
Mm,
Yeah, I do like specializing. I recommend picking it up soon because the trick to it is one of the specializations, the one that lets you get the R&D lab. If you give it money, but it's not working on any project, it'll give you research points. So that's what I recommend doing. Anyway, sorry, I'm just away. I'm taking care of the puppy because she's being sad and like laying down and being all whiny. So I'm just like, I'm sorry. Play with you. Don't feel bad. So
yep, that's how puppies get
Oh,
you.
like these are for all of the different things in there, but I don't see where I can do the research for the.
you want to do the specialist first. So first you want to give them the specialist course.
Ah.
And then the other. So like those 9 ones correspond to the specializations for each game.
Yeah.
Which I believe is just like if you put a sound specialist, that kind of thing. I never really do those because I kind of get bored of the game before I get to that point. But yeah, specialists for the design and technology are the ones where you start to go bare.
I guess it's like training a Yoko Taro if you really want some out there games, or a Yoko Shimomura if you want the best soundtracks you have ever heard.
I really wish I could rename my developers.
My baby, she's here with me, and I love her, and she loves me, and she loves getting at a really awkward angle in the chair and trying to eat my mouse. No te quiero comer el mousepad, no. Exacto, cuéntate.
Come on, you're a puppy, not a cat. You're not supposed to eat mice.
She wants to eat everything.
Well, yeah, she's a
Good
puppy.
with mythology.
That depends. Do you want to guess or do you want to look it up? There's like a couple of Steam guides that have.
I want to guess.
A resplendent offering.
Probably casual.
Well, Master,
Azure
you got
Dragon
20%
Blade
now.
7 tipped $50, both of them.
Azure, thank you so very much. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, apparently that's where my brain is today.
You guys are incredible. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all so much.
But does that mean we save the goatee times 2?
Yes?
Yay!
Azure's just engaging in redundancy because save the guilty one might be Ren, but he has to make sure that it's Norton.
I mean, there's also Ryan.
Okay, so we need to save the guilty 3.
Ryan can die.
But sacrifices must still be made.
I mean, to be fair, Norton isn't guilty of anything, is he? Oh.
Not how he sees it. I'm gonna try action.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather have Ryan be the sacrifice. Even though that sounds horrible. Okay. Full focus now, full focus. Okay.
Weasel is locked in. Nobody throw a clam.
No! Okay.
Clearly, Ren just doesn't care about anybody.
Wow! I do care!
Uh-huh.
I do!
That wasn't your statement a moment ago.
Stop being what you call it? A fae right now.
Hi, I'm Paint. Nice to meet you. You know, that's a great idea, Geeman. Yes, we'll do some Phasmo and make Ren go in solo.
No! Nope, 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 no.
You're
No.
telling me no, pet?
For this, yes, we're gonna use pineapple on it. Like I said, I don't do horror games. There's a reason why. Okay, you know what? I'll do it solo. Only if people, shoot, how much I should ask for this?
Are you about to try and make money off of this?
I don't want to suffer, but if I'm gonna suffer, yes, yes I am.
So it's gonna be money for me, right?
I was about to ask how much you're short on rent. Just make that the number.
Oh, I know exactly how much.
It really bothers me how in this game we apparently cannot actually add all of this stuff.
That really sucks. But $100.
Okay. Well, he didn't specify what channel you guys had to tip to, so go for it. $100 here. Help me out. Get that rent really taken care of. We'll be great, and he'll go solo.
No! My channel, Master! My channel!
Hi, I'm Paint. Nice to meet you, Ren.
Master, please!
I love you, Ren.
Please, Master!
You,
Just consider this training, Ren.
Master, please!
For when I introduce you to a fae and wild traditions.
Master! It's actually for my electricity bill.
Do you need a cough drop, Ren?
No.
Are you okay?
Yes.
As in, I'm gonna send you a video of exactly what's gonna happen to Ren if you put a fae in wild traditions. Let me find it really quick.
Like, I'm not used to this being so specific. Please, Master. Please.
Well, you could make it easy, right? Like, Ren has to play Phasmo solo for $100, but we could do like 50-50 Zim Ren if it turns out, we play with you to help you. Or,
Yes, but this is for like my electricity
Oh,
bill.
that video. I know that one. I've seen the full version. It's great.
the ending is what I imagine Ren is just like that. Oh yeah, here's the perfect wish. Yeah, I want that. Oh, you ruined it, bro. Why do you wish for that?
Okay, Gib Gab, you know the game better than I do. The 82% here with the gameplay.
Uh-huh.
Like, is that going to actually detrimentally impact my game?
I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean anything. I actually don't know what that number means. I think that's fairly new. But I'm pretty sure.
No, it's been there for a while. I know for a fact. to the wiki, I guess. Because it bothers me that apparently I cannot have tutorials, character progression, and achievements in this. Or, well, you know, I could cut out better user experience, but it's like, why can I not just devote some more time? I don't get it.
I don't either. Better tutorials is part of better user experiences.
Oh wait, hold up. Wait, what? Are you serious?
Okay.
No
so-
wait. No wait. No. Wait.
Huh? Oh.
Oh no. Thank you, $49, Demon. Oh no. I didn't expect anyone to actually do it.
I mean, that's on you.
I didn't expect anyone to do it.
How long have you been in this channel and you didn't expect anyone to actually call your bluff?
Because it's my stream. Nobody does it in my stream.
How many people do you share with Zim between the streams that you don't think any of them are going to call your bluff?
Ren, legit,
Yes.
I have weaponized my community before, and I will do so again. And unlike most content creators, I weaponize them in a good way. By making sure people are taken care of. I just haven't done it for you yet because, well, you've got a good, well-paying job, and I know that you're pretty stable. But that doesn't mean that I won't.
I just thank you again, Demon. I think.
Okay, so just really quick, guys, it makes sense now. Basically, the more features you add, you want it to be at 100. The lowering percentage is like your devs just don't have enough time to implement all the features. So you either need to give more to the bar, like for gameplay, you would need to spend more time on gameplay, or you would need to reduce the number of features. The larger the game, the more features you can add before you get the decreased percentage, because you're spending more time developing per stage.
Ah.
That makes sense.
It's still dumb.
Yeah.
I guess I'm cutting out save games. Oh, that's not, okay, fine.
I mean, it
They
makes
can't
sense if
save
you
the
look-
cloud.
It makes sense if you look at it more from like you as a dev, like you have a limited amount of time to make game. You have to like prioritize certain things. So
But I am the guy that owns this thing. I could just tell them, here, spend more time.
that's what you get for making a larger game. So if you were to make a AAA game, then that's what you would be doing.
Meh.
Clearly, what you need to do is make a roguelike RPG. That way, there is no save game system at all.
Actually, that is actually the worst part. Like if you took out the save games and it turns out it's like a banger game, then it would just be like you just made one of those weird games that has no save game, and everyone goes like, "Wow, this is so much better." It's just like Dark Souls. Oh wait.
Thank you, Giga. You made me laugh.
Oh my god, yeah, you just be making Pokemon. You have like a single save and that's it. Or Mario would be no save game, right?
Yeah, no save game would be something like
Yeah, no, you're right, actually. Because I'm thinking of it as like you only have like a single save that like, you know, you don't have quick save or anything. But no, there's no save game period. That's great.
there'd be something like one-way heroics or something like that. Arcade style games, basically. Which, I mean, there still are a few of those hanging around that are just arcade style games that you're meant to pick up and play until you run out of time and then put them down and pick them up, play again. Haven't been any in a while, but
And basically you just need to go and make a AAA game. Ryan, why are you dying?
Right? What?
Why are you dying?
Because it's a hard map.
Oh no, I meant like you, not you in the game.
Wait, what?
Oh, because he's going to be playing, going into, he's going to be going into that Phasmophobia solo.
Oh,
Because even though it hasn't been fully completed on his end there, that is half of it. Which means he's got to spend half of the round solo.
No! Please, no! No!
So we're gonna be playing Phasmo and like we're gonna do the like we'll do the difficulty, the medium one where it's like, oh, you have 5 minutes to find the ghost, and we'll send Renan alone for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And you and me are gonna be like van camping.
Yeah. This is a great idea.
Or you could do it the other way, make it the true horror game experience where you play together for the first half of it, and then 2.5 minutes in, you both get grabbed by the ghoulie. And Ren is the final girl.
Please do not call me a girl.
Sorry.
You're good.
Was that a like slasher film reference?
Yeah, it was a slasher trope.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't specifically at you. There's a legitimate trope called the final girl.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly shouldn't have expected you to, since it's a
Horror trope?
horror trope, yeah. It came out of the slasher movies of the 70s and 80s, I think. Maybe just the 80s. Where, like, usually there was one survivor of the big monster, and it was usually the purest girl who had done the least morally objectionable things, if any.
And of course, never a guy.
There were a couple of movies where it was, but it was usually because they were specifically subverting the final girl trope, because it was it was also partly like a media code thing, because you would, like, in order for your movie to be able to keep a kind of lower rating, if a girl died, or if a woman died on screen, it was considered worse than if a man died.
What?
Yep.
That is
Oh yeah, Hollywood moral codes are weird.
You have to remember, like, a lot of the restrictions or quote unquote like ethical or moral pushes on Hollywood were made by basically suburban white women, usually moms. Like, basically imagine a Karen, and these would be a lot of the people who would be like, our kids cannot see those kind of violent, nasty films. You killed a woman? How dare you?
Oh wait, she had sex? Kill the slut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even like, genuinely, that is the people who were so like the very first ones to push for limits on movies, which is why they're so incredibly arbitrary as well.
Ooh, ooh, 10!
Woohoo!
Aww.
Also, for absolute clarity, I want to make sure that people know
Another
that
10!
I am being critical of that mindset. I am not supporting it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. What was the, I think it was the Cabin in the Woods? That was
Cabin
just
in the Woods was fantastic.
It wasn't really a horror movie. It was the whole point of it was just specifically calling out the industry, like, really, guys?
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
But they were also making a point in the movie that a lot of that isn't necessarily the industry existing and doing those things in a vacuum. It's also
The
the
fans
industry,
expect
responding to cultural expectations at the time.
And honestly, as we've like thrown away a lot of those cultural expectations, horror movies have become so much better.
Well,
To a degree, like, there's always going to be stinkers and throwbacks and Saws. Okay, well, that's not fair. Saw 1 was actually kind of okay, but let's say Saw 3D. There's always going to
Oh.
be those movies that are. Yeah, I'm
Ladies
taking
and
shots.
gentlemen, the surprise hit of the year is Age of Wonders 2: The Godkin by ZGF Gaming. The sound of this game gives you goosebumps. Very well designed. Simply one of the best games I've played. Hooray! Oh, we are rank 1 on sales.
No.
Oh, you took the Gamescom the Games Awards by storm this year, Tim.
They don't even have the game rewards in this game that I know of. I wish they did. Yay, I've got an R&D lab.
I mean, the Games Awards are basically marketing at this point, but
Yeah.
they're good marketing.
Well,
Games Awards this year was marketing for both Okami 2 and Onimusha 4.
I will say, depends on the person that's watching it. I know the last time I did the Game Awards on stream, it was the year that The Last of Us won basically everything. And I'm like, really? Like, I was interested in at some point trying out The Last of Us. And yet, that just was like, okay, nope, never going to touch that series. Ever.
That was my reaction as well. When I saw that, like, I don't believe that one bit.
I don't mind them getting, rewards or awards, but it's like,
By that
when
point,
you're basically the only one that got any awards at all that year, no. There's no way that game was that good.
it's becoming a politics thing than anything else from that point.
I mean,
And
really, it's
they
just
got
money.
called out on that year, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think it's fault. I think it's just money at that point.
Or money, yeah.
Really, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of studios throw some money behind the scenes. Because I mean, there's a genuine like argument to be said about like Game Awards being fundamentally bad. Because like, when you're talking like big movies, there's generally only so many of them you can make. Because you can make a banger film on a low budget and a small scale. But for movies to even really be profitable or like distributable, you still need to have some sort of deal for publishing or the like. And when they get big, like people know about them. But for games, like it's so easy for like a small group of people to make a banger game and release it on Steam. One sec.
That puppy got him.
And then get basically no attention.
Nah, my little sister just gave me the recipe. So, yeah, like, and so like to me, the problem is like, okay, movies, I can kind of see it a little bit more, but for games, how can you have like best sound design, for example, in a game? What does that even mean? But I mean, you could give it to a game that has sound design that like the weapons sound amazing and everything, like all of your interactions are great. Or you could give it to a game that came up with like a really innovative, amazing use of generative sound design, where like everything procedurally gets generated depending on the intensity that you like put on the sound or whatever. Or even if you want to give it to a game like Doom, where it's like, okay, yeah, so we're gonna have like tracks that start variably with like smart systems that detect player action, so that the soundtrack always corresponds to what the player is doing. Like, what do you give it to? What do you define as sound design?
And then sometimes the best sound design is given to games like sorry, give me a second. My brain just completely shut. Like Nier Automata, where it's not necessarily the sounds they are using, but the sounds they aren't using in certain sequences, where the soundtrack is allowed to set the tone, but it does so in a very good way.
Mm-hmm. So I generally don't even think Game Awards are a viable thing. Because you're going to have exactly what happened with Last of Us 2, where, like, to me, it reeks of either the cultural expectation, because Naughty Dog games are generally seen as this, like, superior artistic form of game design, yada yada. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good games. Like, I loved The Last of Us, the first one. But I love The
69
Last.
mil in sales. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. But like, I love The Last of Us Part 1, and I'm sure Part 2 is amazing. I just haven't gone around to play it. Probably will someday. But I love the first one. I don't think the first one, even if you released it like at that time, would have won every single award. But I can see why, like, if you gave a bunch of critics who were like, oh, we need to make sure, like, the best game wins, because we have to show that the games industry is, like, a quality art form. Like, and you throw in get Last of Us Part 2 wins. And likewise, you don't either want to give it to a popularity contest with, like, you were voting, because then what do you end up with? Like, the biggest games will win. If GTA 6 released for this year, it's gonna win every single award, because everyone's gonna vote for the game in every single category. Because it's gonna be the best-selling game in history times 10 at this point.
If it's
So,
good.
I mean, it's gonna sell. It doesn't matter if it's good. GTA 6 is gonna sell enough that like whomever gets like a percentage royalty of the game is gonna be able to live for the rest of their life without ever having to lift a finger.
We'll see about that.
It's it's gonna sell more in pre-orders than games will on release. It's guaranteed profit. That's all I'm saying.
I wish it wouldn't.
Me too. But so like
Pre-orders have their place, but there are so many, like, especially with AAA games these days, it's just the AAA studios don't need the pre-orders, but they're getting them anyway, and it's sending just the complete wrong message.
Yep. Basically, like, my entire point is, I just don't think a Game Awards is viable. I don't think, like, in the typical way we do them, I don't think you can have them. I think, like, at this point, the best way to do it is to, like, have a more wide-ranging amount of awards and be able to grant them to multiple games. That you'd be like, yeah, so these games, we want to, like, give them the excellent game design awards. And then, like, you have, like, 20 games that can fit in that category. And, you know, these are all games worthy of recognition that we think are, like, exemplars of the game industry, and you end up giving awards to, like, 200 games. And, you know...
Yeah,
you do
but
it a lot
most
of
people, actually, like, 99% of people don't see it like that. There only has to be one winner, and that's it.
Right. Which is, like, what I think, that if anything, the Games Awards should be, like, looking to buck as a trend, because, like, that's exactly what you don't want to do with games. Because the whole point of the gaming industry is that, like, there's... Don't get me wrong, there are big release games, but the strength of the game industry is the modding scene, is the indie scene, it's like the thing that truly makes it different from a lot of other art forms. There's just so many games, and
like,
they're so easily accessible.
When people talk about the best games out there, I don't hear Call of Duty. I don't hear, you know, Diablo or World of Warcraft. I'm hearing about Ori. I'm hearing about Baldur's Gate 3, which technically is still an indie game. Larian may be doing very well, but they're still technically indie. At least from what I understand. Huh?
Larian's big.
Are they?
Yeah, they've how much staff right now?
Larian's kind of in the middle. Like, they're not.
Yeah,
they're
I would say AA.
Triple A.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, like, Minecraft, like, sure, it's owned by Microsoft now, but when it started, that was definitely not they were definitely an indie studio.
Double fine.
Larian has 470 employees, which, for reference, is slightly more than From Software has.
Fair enough.
From Software is an outlier and should not be counted.
Yeah.
I'll still count them.
But
From Software has 2 games that they keep remaking. They're doing it very, very well, but they're making Armored Core and Elden and
you guys know my point, though.
Yeah, no, like,
it's not those AAA games that are considered masterpieces.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest of the big. It's the little ones that are considered masterpieces.
Well, not always.
I mean,
'cause
Stardew Valley.
Resident Evil 4 is considered a masterpiece, and that was when the Resident Evil franchise was inarguably a AAA franchise.
That's kind of why I think it's not even worth focusing on like a single. Like I would love if you just gave a bunch of games a bunch of awards just to highlight like the wide range of the industry. Like yeah, in any single category, you should see a bunch of little indie games, and you should see some big AAA games that earned it. Because I mean, let's face it, like a good AAA game is like peak gaming. You have like a studio that spends, I don't know, $500 million over the course of 4 years, has some of the best engineers, best programmers, best audio designers, like best everything, and they make a brilliant game. That game should get accolades. Like I'm not in the whole like only indie games can be good or masterpieces. If a good game deserves like its things, good game deserves it. Fair point.
Thank
But
you
also,
for the
like, yeah.
subscribe. Thank you.
But yeah, also like you said, like I wouldn't put Call of Duty as like game of the year. It's not even close. So like I just think it's good to like give all of them a little bit of credit.
Oh
if they
hey,
get it.
Nibble. It's been a while. I'm sorry about that.
You're good.
I'm trying to think of other like AAA games that have been like game of the year. That what we basically need is a Michelin star system for the gaming industry, kind of.
That I 100% agree on that.
I
Yes.
would disagree.
Really?
The Michelin star, it's literally just a marketing ploy. Like, I agree that having something, some group, but not the Michelin star. Because if you actually look at the Michelin star, it all started as a tire company wanted to try and get people to buy their tires. So to do so, they tried to find, they made this book of, hey, go look at this place.
Like,
Yeah, it was to
I'm
sell
not
maps.
saying-
It was to sell, it was to sell tires. And that is why it is so incredibly hard for any, for any American restaurant to get a Michelin star. It is actually incredibly difficult for them to get a star because Michelin is based in France, I believe it is. So the easier it is for you to get to the thing from France, the more likely you are to get a Michelin star.
I think like France does have like a, even within Europe, France has a disproportionate number of Michelin starred restaurants for that reason.
Yeah.
Like, and
And to be fair,
Yeah, it's an incredibly biased system. I agree that the idea, like, awarding these things and giving them these, I would agree. Yes, a star system of some kind for games would be great. Just definitely don't base it on the Michelin stars.
one that is not based on a review outlet, so not Metacritic or anything like that either, because those are just, they're subject to way too much bias and drama in and of themselves.
Though I will also say that the problem with a system like that for the games industry is the amount of people, or the amount of variety of games there are. Like Ori, I have seen the story. I know that is a beautiful game. But I don't think I'm ever going to play it because the gameplay is not for me. Same goes for Undertale. I am terrible at that kind of game. Bullet hells are not my thing. I know it's a great game. I know it's got a wonderful story. And I would love to personally experience it. But I just can't make it through there because I suck at the type of game. And so that's kind of the problem, is you're going to wind up with that bias no matter what, because you give me a simulator game and I'm going to review it much different than Ren will. Because for me, I love simulator games. Red, he enjoys his Osu and racing stuff, and
Yep.
Call of Duty, and those I'm going to probably not enjoy as much.
But the
Which is
funny
kind
thing
of
is, in COD Zombie, you do better than I do on that.
Doesn't mean that it's as enjoyable of an experience for me than something else. Also, hey there, Liam.
Ah, okay.
And to be
I
fair, the
love tactics games like Fire Emblem. I love them, Key. I would so much and really like to do more of them on the channel. The problem is that they don't do well on Twitch.
which is actually like what I was gonna comment. Like, part of the thing too is like any game's rating or ranking system really falls into the issue of like what you want to be the primary metric. Because to me, the ideal is to have multiple different things able to contribute to any single metric. Like, okay, so like let's say game design of 2024, we're gonna have like 25 games, and 5 of the games are gonna each come from different categories. Like 5 of them are gonna be popular votes, like from just like the audience. 5 of them are gonna come from these review websites. 5 of them are gonna come from blah 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 blah, like just different things, right? Because I think that's basically the only real way to like get a viable good metric. Because otherwise, like I said, like if you're gonna base it on like popular vote, you think a game like, I don't know, Stardew Valley would outdo GTA 6? Much as I love Stardew Valley, much as it's popular, it's like the same thing with Elden Ring that happened. I was staring at the Steam Awards one year and I was like, Elden Ring, like, it's not that good of a game. Like, it can't be Game of the Year, and it won Game of the Year like overwhelmingly. But part of it is because like it got like 200,000 votes, and that's like what 10% of what it sold maybe. Whereas like this other game, like 80% of the people who bought that game voted for it, and it won like what 20,000 votes. I mean, it was like one of the games that I liked that year. So like, any metric, any single metric you use is going to be very prone to flaws. Even if you were to ask like a dedicated review outlet, cool. Let's say you find a good review that like from a couple of good games journalists, and they do this. Like Zim said, one of them is going to really like racing games and might have a very different opinion about a game than the other. So even trusting their opinion is not exactly good. And if you look at the Michelin system, they favor particular types of cuisine or particular styles of cooking compared to others. So I might go to like the little street corner and be like, these are the best grilled cheese sandwiches I've ever eaten in my life. These people are geniuses at making grilled cheese sandwiches. And like a Michelin star judge might come in and go, it's a little too greasy, I don't like it. And then like, no, you don't get anything. Like,
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. Any single standard is not gonna work. And I this is broadly applicable to a lot of art forms. Like, a lot of them are subject to criticisms. Like, with movies even, you get the whole thing of, like, every year there's always an argument about how the Oscars suck because they don't like certain types of movies. Like, horror was shunned from movie awards for so long. Because, yeah, you had banger horror films, and then they would go like, nah, horror, stinky. I want to really elevate this, like, extremely boring melodramatic drama. It just sucks and is boring and nobody liked it. But you know, it's artistic and stylistic, and it's filmed with graininess. So like, oh, that's true art.
Also, it starred Tom Hanks, and he paid us like $450,000. So,
Yeah, something like that. So yeah,
number one, hyperbole. Number two, I don't think Tom Hanks himself ever did that. I don't think he's the type, but you know,
well,
the illustration purposes only. This is not an accusation. Tom Hanks, please don't sue me.
well, he doesn't have to pay them. It's just, you know, maybe the studio that made the film.
But my point was more like having people who are not directly in the industry in question, but who are a quote-unquote trusted authority on the industry. So, like Michelin for food was at one point before the Michelin star system really ran into its problems. But
well, no, the Michelin star system started bad. It has gotten better over the years, but it started with those problems. That was the foundation of their problems.
What were you saying, Ren?
I was gonna say like, and no matter what, no matter how good a system is, there's always gonna be people bias. No matter what, how perfect everything else is.
Yeah.
So no system will ever be.
Ooh. I got to play. I got to 19th most popular booth at the game conference. Woo!
Nice.
Nice.
And yeah,
Woohoo!
no matter what system we implement, no matter what system we try to make it as perfect as possible, there's always gonna be people bias. Always.
Yeah, but I guess my point is that what we need is kind of rating systems that are biased in the ways that the people who are using the ratings are going to also be biased. Like using fanzines, I guess, would be the best way to go about it. Like, Nintendo Power or whatever used to kind of have little rating systems that the people rating the racing games were the people who liked racing games, and the people rating the
But-
RPGs were the people who liked playing RPGs. That sort of, but on an even more micro divided level, I guess.
What I was gonna say about that, but even in those genres, they have subgenres, and people don't like those subgenres because they like this certain subgenre. So it becomes more and more complicated.
Like I said, to me, the best thing to sort of approach it in is there is going to be bias, and honestly, if there wasn't bias in games rankings, I would be concerned because, like, I mean, how could you not have a bias with video games? If you like what you like, that's it. Like with reviewers, for example, sometimes I see people like shit on good games reviewers. Not like just like let me shit on IGN because it's funny. I mean, it is funny, but that's beside the point. But like sometimes you do have someone who makes a good review, and even if they might say something you disagree with, and you want to like be like, no, you're wrong. It's their opinion. Like no reviewer will ever make a perfect review because that doesn't exist. It's their review of the game. It's their opinion. Like if they didn't like this or that, what are you gonna say about it? You're incorrect. It's objectively good. No, I just didn't like it. And with games, that's going to be true because it's an art form. People are just going to like and not like things. You can consider one part of the game good or bad within whatever you think the game is.
I mean, and there's an argument to be made that sometimes certain reviewers might make arguments in bad faith. Like one of my partners was talking about somebody who was doing a review of Final Fantasy XIV and kept on bringing in points from Final Fantasy XVI as examples of why 14 wasn't doing things correctly. Like they were saying that the existence of this accessory in Final Fantasy XVI proves that Final Fantasy XIV isn't doing things right.
One moment, please. I'm just happy that I finally passed this map.
Woo!
So many tries to pass this one, but let's go.
And celebratory, I will.
I will.
Beautiful.
That was weak. Do better, Ren.
Yes, master.
Good boy.
And yeah, so like I do know like there is like you can have a bad review. It's just that like fundamentally there's never going to be an incorrect review or an incorrect opinion about a game. Like if the person's being stupid, I mean that's still their subjective opinion. And if anything, you can still like there's still some worth to glancing. Like if it turns out they didn't like 14 because they don't like 16, well they still don't like 16. That's just like there's some insight you can glean from any review as to the reviewer's opinion. And right now that's kind of where I think like that's why I don't think having any single authority or figure being able to contribute entirely to games discourse is healthy. Like I think it just has to be multiple different sources and multiple different like groups contributing to it, because there is going to be bias, and honestly you might as well just like be very clear as to what they are and not let any single one of them overshadow it. Like I would like to see review outlets dedicate like picks to game things. I would like to see fans be able to like pick some games. I would like to see like the dedicated games awards committee pick their own games, and so on and so forth. Just like, yeah, give me a good variety of different people who like games for different reasons, and let them say they think this game is good and that they like it.
I think
And
the
it deserves
best
more.
I think the best way to do it is to basically set up multiple groups of reviewers that reviews of the Gollum Lord of the Rings game. Oh god. Those were definitely bought off freaking reviews. But that's beside the point. I think the only real way to do it is to get groups of reviewers that each like their own specific thing. Like, I would be on the team that, reviews tactical RPGs and simulations and such. Whereas Ren would probably be on racing and rhythm games. At
And
least I
I'd
think
be on
Osu is a rhythm game.
and I'd be over there reviewing JRPGs and story-driven games.
And then each group could probably have their own stars that they could award every year. And then they just basically rank them that way. It's like, okay, in this genre, this game got 3 stars, that game got 2, that game got 1, and so on and so forth.
Good night, viewers.
That's the only way that I could see it working.
Or like
And
maybe
I'll-
even not even like that, like not an award system per se, but like I've seen a lot of websites dedicated to computer peripherals that are set up like these are the top 10 picks for budget mouse peripherals for gamers in 2025. Like really specific lists that are, specifically reviewed for a specific scenario. So like a game outlet would say, these are the top 3 Souls-like games of 2025. This is the budget option. This is the indie developer option. This is the I'm getting my nephew a Christmas present option, etc. Where it's just someone who is curating a list of things that they have personally interacted, I think, is probably the best way to go about it. Which that's going to be subject to its own, biases, and obviously those reviewers can still be bought off, but
Well, the only problem is that that's just kind of like already what reviewers do by default. Like if it were more of because I'm assuming like that's just reviewer behavior. That's kind of what they're supposed to do. You'll see it in their websites. Like if you just go to a lot of games reviews websites, they'll have like sorted lists and rankings and stuff. But if you're trying to like arrive to some sort of broader like convention, consensus, or the like, that idea mostly works. And that's kind of what we do nowadays with a lot of different media. The problem that I have with that is that inherently it creates a divide, because for a lot of times the people you want to trust to do this for a living. And a lot of times the reason people complain about movie critics or game critics is because it's such a different viewpoint through which they're looking at the game compared to the average player. Because you and I will play a game casually. Like, cool, I get home from work and I go and play a game, right? And that's kind of what I do. Whereas this person, if I've played over the course of a week, I spent 1 week completing Elden Ring, or some Ace Combat game that I bought. But this reviewer has played 9 different like action-adventure games over the last week, because that's just their job. Every day they play a game, they write a review, then they play some more. They spend the entire year playing like potentially hundreds of games, to the point where like what you and me might see as like, oh, this is a pretty brilliant game, I love this system. Oh yeah, I've seen it in like 10 different games. I've already played 14 of them this year, like this last week. So eventually they perceive media to a very different extent, not just because they have a lot of experience, but because they approach it very differently. It's why you see a lot of like movie critics or game critics. They like unconventional media that you and I might not like, but it's because they've played the same great game, quote unquote, 15 different times, and you hit them with something that's a little uncomfortable or different to us, and they might go, I really like this. I've never seen this before. I don't care if it's not that good. This is new and I like this. And it excites them. And you and I are like, that's kind of terrible. And that will happen if you have like a group of dedicated people who only do that kind of thing.
You're not wrong. You're not
Nope.
wrong at all.
I agree with you, GibGab.
But like we were saying, there's no system that's going to be perfect. All we can really do is create a system where the biases can be anticipated, I guess, and accounted for.
I just want different kinds of biases to all be put together.
And
then,
then
like,
you have another factor of who actually going to create it, where the money coming from, who's going to invest in it. It's like it just boils down to money.
Well,
Everything
ideally-
boils down to money.
Yeah.
Ideally, that can be a little like less problematic, because what usually will happen is you'll have some sort of organization, non-profit. You force them to disclose all of their money, and you have like a board of people leading the organization, and it just goes like, yeah, we're gonna curate this organization and make sure everything runs on time and everything is good, and also pocket like 300 grand a year. But that's beside the point.
Yep.
And like every major games company will contribute to us, and if you don't, we're gonna culturally shame you. And eventually just becomes like a default standard for companies to contribute to it. Which is not inherently bad, that's kind of how a lot of things run. But, you know, that's kind of usually what it comes down to. I'm so surprised you're still making medium games. I would have thought you'd already be onto large games.
I haven't actually, put the research towards that yet.
I mean, totally should. You make so much money from a good large game.
Well, right
maybe-
now, I mean, I'm doing fine on finances. I'm even putting $3 million towards my R&D lab every month and still doing just fine. I'd rather get my people better than invest into that.
Well, it goes both ways. A large game done well will make you a lot of money, but large games also take a longer time to develop, so you basically, instead of making a lot of games, you make like one game for a longer period of time, and it'll also give you a bunch of research points, because you're just developing a thing for a long period of time. You know, hey. Also, you can put more of the features in a large game before you hit that percentage.
Also, maybe Zim wants to be Double Fine and, stick to medium-sized games because it's a niche that is
Bigger.
Comfortable.
Okay, but what if we could have the best furry AAA MMO ever?
It'll get shut down because we aren't making enough money.
Exactly, but
What do you
Zim's
mean? Suspiciously wealthy furries are a thing.
Yeah, but the suspiciously wealthy furries are spending money on art, not on AAA.
Oh boy.
I disagree.
MMOs.
I know for a fact that Wernie never plays Fortnite and still went on to Fortnite just to buy one of the furry skins.
Yep.
And there are many furries that do that.
You know how
Yep.
many furries I know play FF14?
14 isn't even the best furry MMO. It's a good
No.
one. It's just not the best one.
No, but you have cat people in a good game.
If I'm playing a MMO for furries, I would probably go with World of Warcraft. Even though I really like the char from Guild Wars, there's just there's more variety and they are much better in World of Warcraft.
Guess what those friends used to play before they switched over to 14? Play World of Warcraft before.
Well, maybe. The
What?
Volpera
What?
were
What?
kind of neat.
Look, all I'm saying is, right, my furry friends, they already played World of Warcraft. And then they switched over to FF14. And I know a not insignificant amount of the OO factor comes from the fact that, oh look, cute cat girl. I can be. And then they be the cute cat girl. Or, oh, look, big mommy dommy bunny girl.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
look, we are not going to talk about Earth Eternal. IRE is a mess, and they should never have tried to do a graphical MMO.
Wait, what game?
I have no idea.
Earth Eternal. Shoot, how to explain this?
Thanks, Canaveral.
So there's a company who develops MUDs primarily, called Iron Realms Entertainment. They are more or less the source of every bad mobile game practice you have ever heard of. But their MUDs are also very, very furry friendly. Like, very furry friendly. I play at least 2 of them, and I have furry characters in both of those. They tried to make a graphical MMORPG called Earth
Also,
Eternal.
I want to say real quick, I now have my own version of Steam.
Woo!
I no longer need to make games.
I mean, that's what Valve did.
You're joking, but I'm serious. This is how you win the game. This is how you don't even need to make games anymore.
So Earth Eternal was released, and it was released in the year of our Lord, I want to say 2018, 2019, and had EverQuest 1 level graphics and mechanics that weren't even quite to that point. Basically, the mechanics and the graphics and the systems of the games were all basically 10 years older than the MMO market at the time, and they were trying to set themselves up as competitors to World of Warcraft, EverQuest 2, and I think Guild Wars 1 or 2 had released at the time, and trying to use the IRE model of monetization, which is very cash shop for power heavy, and all of that combined in an MMO market just kind of didn't make waves, let's say. So it was shut down before it even left beta. But it would have been the furriest MMO on the market.
That was not a good game. Oof.
No, and I don't know why, but oof.
Now let's see how much money you make anyway.
Come on.
Yeah, it really didn't. So what Kenku was saying is that the story conceit for Earth Eternal was that it is a fairy tale land set after humans, but it is Earth, but also fairy tale land. And like there were 2 or 3 different furry races of different sizes, and each race had its own strengths and weaknesses, which included a little bit of their movement. Like the smaller races tended to be a little bit faster, but couldn't jump as high, but could get into areas that the geometry wouldn't allow for a bigger character to get into. And the races were divided, like there were the elf equivalent and big wolves and the small generic furries, which you could make more, dot hack GU, but more Fallout and less human. And it was just a mess. They really didn't think about how to build an MMO before trying to release it as an MMO, which is hilarious because they are a company who is responsible for Mucks and Muds, which are essentially text-based MMOs.
Oh.
You'd think that they'd actually ask how those are supposed to work, but no, they didn't. And it basically never left never left beta because the niches were just too nichey,
Ooh.
and they were really only advertising to the muck and mud crowd anyway.
Got to the top 10 at number 8.
Nice.
I always find it funny. If you look at your game sales after these conferences, you always see a boost the week after. So like this
Oh.
week you'll probably sell normal, and the week after you'll see like your sales go. Bzz.
Oh yeah, I know.
What is that? Is that called the Oprah effect or something? Where after it's being featured on a show like Oprah or because she had that book club for a while, and if anytime she reviewed a book, it basically sold out literally everywhere and was on the New York Times bestseller list within 2 or 3 review cycles.
Look, all I'm saying about MMOs is, right, like there's this channel like on YouTube that does these videos, and it reviews like animals and their like evolutionary features and stuff. Is like, oh look, real life, like the Darwinism is like an MMO, like cats are overpowered and stuff.
Oh yeah,
You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I want to have an MMO that like allows you to custom create like species and stuff, and it's super complicated, and all it leads to is like the whole point of it, and the only reason I really want it to exist is so people can make all these fanciful creatures and all these fantasy like species and stuff like dragons and blah blah blah, and just have it all eventually lead to like, hey look, the most meta creature is still a crab.
So you were right. Apparently I should have been self-publishing large games. I've got almost double the amount that it recommends for me to have before I self-publish them.
Oh.
Those sweet, sweet words to my ears. What were they? You were right. Lovely.
Oh God. That quote unquote game console.
Oh yeah, the Ouya.
Yeah.
The what?
You never heard of it, Gab?
Probably not. Don't sound familiar.
There was an indie game console release. They put out crowdfunding. It was a thing. It existed.
I mean,
It was literally a scam.
the instant you said indie game console, it's doomed.
I would
There
not
can be no
say.
indie consoles.
I don't think it was a scam, because it did actually launch and stuff. It's just they didn't get the market. They didn't get the market share that they needed to actually get anywhere.
I mean, yeah, like if you really like look at the broad console market, there's basically 3 consoles, and it's just because the only consoles that can really succeed are if you have enough money to throw around to like take advantage of economies of scale to make it cheaper, and just like sheer number of games you can put in there. I was like,
or if you own the production chain like a certain Japanese company.
I mean, yeah, but you know that also requires you having like, I don't know, 7 different game like studios under your belt that all make really good games that are very famous. Well,
Especially if you can forget that a couple of them exist. Ratchet and Clank.
I love that about game companies nowadays. Like, imagine having culturally relevant like game series just forgotten about because I don't know, you have too much money when you leave the front door, so you just forget to look the other way at the things you're not using. Your executives can afford to just go like, I don't really feel like developing this series. It's kind of stinky.
Yeah, that's basically the story of Onimusha and Dino Crisis. It was, what, 18 years between Onimusha, the last Onimusha game, and the Games Awards giving us the announcement of the next one coming.
Yes, I am totally going to make Game Dev Tycoon inside Game Dev Tycoon. Let's do this.
Honestly, the worst part is you perfectly nailed it, because I've always found it super funny. The Woo is so good at simulation games for some reason.
The what?
It's good at the Wii discount console.
Oh,
Like
the Wii
it's
U.
good at the Wii U. It's oh yeah, because the Wii is the new. Like the Wii U here is good at basically casual and simulation. I think action. That's it. That's basically what it's good at. And then, like the PC is eternal. The PC is good at everything except casual, and the Wii U is just casual and strategy and simulation for some reason. Funnily enough, there's only like 3 consoles that are good on strategy. I'm pretty sure, excluding the G64, because it's basically the PC, but it just has slightly more market share at the beginning of the game, and then it dies. Like the PC and the G64 are basically the same thing. When it comes to strategy, it's just PC, and I think the iPad. I know one of the Nintendo ones is good at strategy, but I don't remember which one. I just remember I always look at them and I go, "What the fuck? Why?"
Like, are we still talking about in Game Dev Tycoon? Because I've got no idea on that.
Oh wait, I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious.
I'm trying to think. Is it because of Tactics Ogres and Advance Wars and similar style games? Because those were like GBA had a good run there of tactical grand strategy games that just worked.
Yeah, okay, so we're looking here. So the PC and the G64 are the exact same, except the PC is like slightly better at simulation games. They're the exact same console. The PC is the best one at strategy. The only other consoles aside from the G64 that are even decent at strategy, the Ouya is barely good at strategy. I wouldn't use it. The PSP is also barely good at strategy, like if you have to kind of thing. And then the DS and the iPad are actually decently good at strategy. The DS always just leaves me like, why?
Yeah,
It's so weird.
it has to be trying to take into account things like Advance Wars.
Yep.
Actually, it's probably true. It's actually kind of cool though, because the DS is actually not bad at any genre. All genres work in the DS.
It's actually the DS was actually a really impressive console.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You should make another DS. Oh god, poor the Hasier.
Oh, well, I'll be moving them off of that.
Game Dev Tycoon, but you make a large game with a single developer. Challenge.
Perfect.
Beautiful. And probably... that's probably fine.
There.
The only thing you can want to do if you really want to try that is you could probably try to get a little more world design to add some more features. That'd be the only other thing I might try to like tweak there.
No, I don't. Well, yeah, I guess I can't. Well, no, because then. Well, let's see. Okay, there we go. Day and night cycle for game devs. No, we're gonna go with open world for it.
Oh my god.
Oh god, the open world trend is so hit and miss. There are some really good open world games, but there are so many really bad ones.
Oh yeah, look at your research points.
Like I
Crack all the boosts.
hope that the trend is now making an open world game, but not making it so freaking large.
That's kind of the catch-22 of open world games, though, is that, you know, if you don't make it big enough, then people are going to wonder why it was an open world game to begin with. And if you make it too big, then it's going to feel empty.
Yep.
It needs 16 times the detail.
And then you start running into the what my partner calls the ooh piece of candy problem.
Okay.
Ah, perfect. The strange combos is over, so I can actually release this.
Do some marketing. Oh, never mind.
I already did.
Fair enough.
I did a large campaign and did not get much hype.
Fair enough.
Though our finances are definitely not doing so great.
Terrible.
How much you want to bet that they programmed it so that way it would have really good scores because I named it Game Dev Tycoon?
That'd be kind of funny.
It would.
Well, I think we are making bank here. Develop the game within the game.
With an achievement?
Yes, that's an achievement. Inception.
Oh my god. They knew people were gonna do it. They knew.
Like, it's a really hard balance to make because Carsters, because you in order for an open world game to be successful, it has to have enough stuff to do that the world itself is kind of a puzzle or a stage or, you know, a character, but it can't have so much stuff to do that you don't do anything else.
So, Orca, I do want to say, I have played this game before a lot. I have just not got into this stage of the game before.
So what is the end game of this then?
You become Steam.
Which I already have.
Oh yeah, you still have to make a console.
Oh, okay.
And then make games for your console, specifically. I guess you become like a mix of Nintendo and Steam.
You know. Oh, caught that at the last second.
Are there any Steam Deck exclusive games?
No.
No, Steam is cool.
Because you know the PC community will get extremely angry if they did that.
Not really. Like, it would just be like a, why? Why is it exclusive? Is there an actual reason? Or you just do it exclusive because you want to sell only on Steam? Like, I mean, people would just be like, kind of fair as long as I can play it on PC. Because, I mean, the Steam Deck is just basically using Linux, so you have to make it somewhat compatible with PC anyway.
Oh, we were the number one booth! Woo!
Nice.
Yeah, the good booth babes. That's a joke. I don't think we've actually done that in the industry since
No.
2000.
You see, it was just the mascot, Ren. He was out there dancing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Gotta let him get his nervous energy out somehow before sending him after the ghosts.
God freaking.
So, Zim, this is the part where you go burr, right? Instead of putting points into a lot of training, you just gotta, like, go ham on researching new technologies, make the most fancy, expensive game engine you can, and then release another banger game, and then you're set for money for life.
Is that how that works?
I mean, basically, because like I said, the problem part of it is just that, like, to me, the one questionable design decision I don't like about the game is you have to spend research points to train your employees good, and that sort of slows your progression. The ideal is to basically go and burn through a lot of the research. Like, between games, I do contract work just to get research points, because, like, I'm not releasing games and I'm getting more research points, because getting games with more features, better features, new game engine stuff, that does, I believe, increase your score more, especially if you're making sequels. So if you kind of stay on the...
Yay, MMO support!
You're busting. Oh.
We need to make a special engine, okay.
Yeah, that is one thing, is that you really cannot make an MMO without having an engine dedicated to MMOs.
As the other reason I like putting points in research in this game, when you research a new text, when you use them in your games, they develop, like, they level up basically. So like, for example, if you use the newest graphics in the game, you'll eventually unlock the new graphics after that. But if you stay on like graphics V2 forever, for example, you're never gonna get graphics like V3, so you don't get graphics V4, so you don't get the next one and the next one and so on. You know. Doing research, very good. Very, very nice. And then when I reach the part of the game where I'm like too wealthy and I don't know what to do with my money, I just make I'll make a game engine that's the exact same one as the previous one just to get research points.
I did hear that is apparently what you're supposed to do with this once you got enough money. Is just make the same game engine over and over.
Yeah. I mean,
I like Unity.
Everything. Well, see, unlike Unity, here you can just make everything. So like, once you unlock every single possible feature and there's nothing else to do, what else are you gonna do? You need research points to train people. And your R&D lab only gives you research points if you're not like researching anything with it. Like right now, look at how much research you're getting from your lab as well.
Can't remember. Does Rockstar still use their own engine?
I am one short of the MMO support.
Oh, just close it and wait a moment. You'll
I
use
know.
your R&D lab will give you the point.
There we go.
Rockstar uses their own engine, I believe, yeah. How much money did they end up making for that game, by the way? Compared to like the previous ones? Because I'm curious to like what your margins are now for a large versus medium game.
Only 51 mil. And I made 69 mil off of a medium game.
Ah, but
Nice.
how much score did that one have?
Huh?
How much score did that one have?
How much what?
How much score? Like, what was the review score?
Slightly higher.
So I think for that one you had more hype as well. I think.
But I need to step away for a moment. Ren, keep them entertained. Pet Mike active, everybody.
Wait, what? What? Eh?
Alright, Ryan, that's fine. So we're gonna talk about, right, like, next session in Ages of Reflection, right?
Okay.
Alright, so like, if you really think about it, the entirety of the last session was just like, oh, look, a trope. No. Oh, look, the enemy's gonna walk away. No. We're gonna strike them in the back while they're turned around. Oh, they're gonna transform and power up. No.
that really was, wasn't it?
It's just, what if you gave someone a gun and put them in Dragon Ball Z? I'm gonna power up, bam.
Like,
Didn't the Red Ribbon Army try that and it didn't go well?
Probably. I mean, Dragon Ball has to have an excuse as to why you don't hit people while they're transforming. Come on. Otherwise, why wouldn't you?
I mean, Goku doesn't hit people while they're transforming because he wants to see if he can punch the guy in the schnoz after he's transformed.
Yeah, but everyone else.
And Vegeta actually has the same reason, or the same excuse, but for a different reason. Like, Goku wants a fair fight. Vegeta wants the bragging rights.
yep.
True. So yeah, they're kind of actually like it is like a little just too genre savvy. The only one who's not genre savvy enough is Sammy here. Maybe Hyro. Maybe. Hyro's not genre savvy enough.
Hyro tried to attack, but when it gets to his turn, oh, he's already down.
Well, yeah, because nobody got to do anything the first encounter. It was just David going like, I cast die.
Key.
Wait, he made a Renamon just for you?
What was that?
He says you haven't forgotten the Renamon I designed just for you, have you? Grin.
I'm trying to think. Ah. Ah.
You forgot the Renamon that Key made for you?
Ah. The brain. Brain. Why?
Heatmobor, Lamau, XD.
The betrayal!
Point and
Brain.
laugh. Point and laugh. Lol XD.
Don't put it up. Don't. Ah.
For shame.
It's an archer.
As much as we all love you, you just don't love us that much.
I do. I do. I do. It's just my memory. My memory is so bad.
Ooh. That's a pretty Renamon. Also, that little Rex, like, a hawk, the canine image is adorable. Oh my gosh, she draws a pretty car. There, Key.
It's an art share, right?
Eee.
There it is. Oh, that one. Oh my goodness gracious. Ah.
Run for gore. Shame on you. Can't believe this SMH behind. Yeah.
When I say my memory's bad, my memory's bad.
Shame. Shame.
Shame.
Don't pay me.
Yeah, be careful. I think he likes it.
No, I don't.
Sus. But also saying, I mean, I've been remembering things. Can't be me.
I'll be right back as well, actually.
Okay.
And you're saying them Gib Gab.
I've been retaining him for forgetting the wonderful gift that he gave Run SMH my head. It's playful TM shaming. Okay. Not knowing what shipping is about has nothing to do with memory. I just didn't know. I'm just stupid. That's a different thing. I dropped the thing.
I mean, that also does clearly mean to you didn't pay much attention during the Retrograde Renegades campaign, because Samimi had a whole shipping grid set up in the party server that she was updating
Our modest
constantly
fellowship expands. Praise the sub.
about who could date who and who was likely to, and just all kinds of detailed information. It was
Fair enough.
I
Sorry,
am
give me a
back.
moment. I'm making sure these people can hear my
Our
response.
modest fellowship
I
expands.
need to explain myself. They're
Praise the
watching
sub.
ads.
What did I miss? And why is
Okay,
Ren
okay.
not a puddle?
Ren quickly poofed for a moment. He's we were back. Okay, look, you have to understand, Merle. I just didn't think it was. I just heard the name and it's like, oh, you ship them, sure, or whatever. It's just they just are. It's just that's just what you call it. And okay, Tiberian, can you hear me? Why do you have to wait for ads to end when you gift sub someone? It should just like cancel the ad automatically. Scree. What? Wait, Zim, do you see that?
See what?
The last messages Merle sent.
About how you didn't know what shipping was?
No, the IC. Twitch just labeled Merle a suspicious user. What?
I don't see that.
I'm so confused. Like, look at what? I think Twitch is having a moment.
Merle,
Look.
did you do something bad?
Look, I just sent it to you.
Okay, yeah, legit, that is.
Emergency meeting!
Okay, a reload fixed it. Twitch is having a moment. Okay, a reload fixed it. Twitch just had a Twitch. For a moment, I was gonna be like, wait, what? But okay. So, okay,
Twitch
look.
caught Merle venting.
No. Okay, so Tiberian, here's the thing. We were just shaming Ren for forgetting the wonderful thing that Key drew for Ren. And okay, so Key, you have to understand. I just didn't know what shipping was. That doesn't mean I forgot about it. I do not have great memory. But me not knowing what shipping is has nothing to do with me being bad memory. It just has to do with me being stupid. It's completely different.
I could certainly arrange something like that, Kate.
Who's gonna be the imposter? Hey, Beard, it's not a bad memory. I just didn't know what it was. How would I know? Like, I can't forget something I don't know. Not that kind of shipping. The kind of shipping where I take Nova and Cobalt and I take the little toys and I make them kiss and I go kissy, kissy, kissy.
I did not see you playing with your doll, sir.
Excuse me, they're not dolls. They're
I'm
plushie.
back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, my little weasel. So I hear you didn't get broken enough.
Wait.
So now
Wait, what?
I guess I need to step in
Wait.
and make a nice little puddle. I need my gel pad under my paws. So I think I need to make one, don't I? And now, I think we're gonna wrap up this game and switch over to Phasmo.
One's gonna die.
I didn't even know what this game is about!
Hunting ghosts.
Wait,
You don't know anything about the game, right?
no, I don't.
Well, don't look anything up. Don't worry about it. We'll teach you. There's a tutorial. You should do it.
But why, Azure? When you're such a good boy, helping me out like you did today. That is such a good boy. So helpful. Such a good little Durgy. We'll go ahead and give you some nice soft pets. And I'll even let you borrow some of my cobalts.
Eh?
'Cause you're such a good boy, Azure. What's wrong, Tepig? And hello there, dear. You really shouldn't mute me.
My face still hurts, like to smile from yesterday.
Should I bring out my VTuber model for this?
Yes. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us so far today on the stream. That was Game Dev Tycoon. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. There on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by commissioning one of the artists that I manage for, using our Humble Bundle partner link, or subscribing to us over on YouTube. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.
Bye.